Addiction is such a sad and terribly devastating disease that affects not only those who are struggling with their addiction, but their friends and family members surrounding them as well. Lately, we've been hearing about many different celebrities who have also been struggling with addiction. Demi Lovato and now Mac Miller. It's very sad and it's very serious, but people are playing the blame game when it comes to addiction, and that's not okay. Hey pals, Little Bucket here, coming at you today to talk about Mac Miller's recent overdose and death. May he rest in peace. I personally am very familiar with the struggles of addiction. My mom passed away from her drug and alcohol addiction when I was 17 years old, and it's very tragic and very sad. And it really makes me sad when I see so many people misunderstanding the disease or not even thinking it's a disease and just ragging on the people who are struggling with addiction or blaming other people for their addiction. What I specifically wanted to talk about in this video though, regarding Mac Miller's recent passing and Demi Lovato's overdose as well, is how each situation was handled differently by regular people and by those who heard about it in the news. If you recall, recently when Demi Lovato overdosed, people attacked her. A lot of people attacked her. She had a lot of support, but also many people attacked her and said it was her choice. She chose to do those drugs. Whatever happens to her, that's her fault, blah, 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 blah. Very mean, very critical, very attacky on Demi Lovato. Not cool. Now let's fast forward a little bit to the recent overdose and passing of Mac Miller and how differently people have handled these two very similar situations. So Mac Miller passes away from his overdose, and instead of people attacking him and saying, well, that's what he gets, he's the one that decided to take the drugs, which I don't think they should be saying regardless, because I feel both instances are very sad and tragic, and thank God Demi Lovato didn't end up passing away from hers, but neither of them should have been attacked and blamed the way Demi was. And I'm sure some people also did it to Mac Miller too, but for the most part I'm just talking about the majority of comments that I've seen. So I've seen lots of posts and comments regarding Mac Miller's situation with just sad, rest in peace, what a great guy, inspirational music, got me through a lot of stuff, what a sad and terrible thing that happened, and blaming Ariana Grande for it because they dated in the past. First of all, even if she was still dating him, it's not her fault, because addiction, as I said, we need to not play the blame game. When somebody dies of cancer, you don't say, it's all their fault. You don't blame anybody. It's sad, it's cancer. We don't need to blame people. Ariana Grande wasn't even with Mac Miller anymore. She has a new boyfriend. So there's that. Even if she was still with Mac Miller, you can't control other people's health. It's a sad thing that happened to Mac Miller, and it's devastating, but there's no need to bash and blame his ex-girlfriend. So that leads me to the thought, why was Demi Lovato attacked, but Mac Miller's ex-girlfriend was attacked? They both overdosed. Is it because Demi Lovato didn't pass away and she was able to get treatment and recover from the overdose? Was it because Demi Lovato's a woman and women seem to be more attacked by society when things go wrong? I just think these are definitely possibilities to consider when we look at these very similar situations. And it's just god-awful timing. Right after her sexual assault by Pastor Ellis on national television at Aretha Franklin's funeral, which she already got so much hate and backlash for, blaming her for that as well. Now her ex-boyfriend passes away from addiction, which she's also probably devastated about in general, because obviously they were close, they'd been in a relationship. Even though they're not together anymore, that still takes a toll on you. So she already has to go through that alone. And now on top of all that, people blaming her for his death, it's just not right. And it's really sad. And my heart goes out to Ariana Grande, because no one deserves any of the things that she's been having to go through recently. I'm very sad for her. She disabled her Twitter actually, and it's just unfortunate that it seems that we live in a society that is very blamey towards women. As I said, Demi Lovato overdoses, it's her fault. Mac Miller overdoses, it's his ex-girlfriend Ariana Grande's fault. Ariana gets sexually assaulted, it's her fault. There's just so much blame towards women, and it's just so sad. And so please, like, do some research about addiction and think about things from other people's perspectives, because you can't stop somebody when they are suffering from the disease of addiction. They need medical treatment or rehab. They need help, outside help, oftentimes. And you can't force someone to go through the steps of recovery. They are suffering from a disease and they need help. It messes with their brain. They're in denial. There's a lot of other things going on, and it is no one's fault alone. I just thought that I needed to make a video about this, because not only does addiction have a place in my heart, and I will always empathize and feel for those who have been affected by their own or a loved one's addiction, but the blaminess around all these women is just really not okay. And it's definitely putting a damper on things, for me at least. And it really made me sad seeing the backlash towards Demi about her overdose, and then the backlash towards Ariana about Mac Miller's overdose. So we just need to work together to put an end to this nonsense. So make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you agree that addiction is a very sad, tragic disease that we should not be putting specific blame on people. These people need help. They don't need to be attacked. They don't need other people to be attacked saying they could have done something else to help them. They need help. They need compassion. They need empathy. They need medical treatment, and doesn't need to be blaming other people for the outcomes of addiction. We don't need to be playing the blame game. We need to help each other and build each other up and get through these struggles together. Leave me a comment down below about what your thoughts are on what's going on with all these celebrities suffering from addiction and the blaming of women in these cases. If you're new here and you would like to become one of my pals, make sure to just click that subscribe button down below, especially that little bell icon, so you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video, which is every single Tuesday and some Thursdays. And I will see you all next time. Keep fighting the good fight and stand up for what you believe in.